Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2017 video. Today we're back with the awesome Armstrong Powerhouse and Waggonz Class 313. I did a video on it yesterday that was just a very quick, rushed, straight out of the box, have it a go, and it seems to have got quite a lot of attention. So much so that Armstrong Powerhouse themselves have just shared the link, the YouTube link on it. On their own page. So I thought I'd better do another one that's slightly better, and this is the one I've picked, which is the Drayton Park, which is a moorgate service going to Welwyn Garden City. So very sensibly this time I have the manual on my iPad next to me, so I should be alright. So let's have a read of this first. Hello driver, first things first, this service has just arrived using third rail, so you must raise the pantograph before going any further. After you've done that, load and unload passengers and await your departure time 14:28. You'll then call at Finsbury Park, Haringey, Hornsey, Alley Pally, New Southgate, Oakley Park, New Barnet, Hadley Wood, Potters Bar, Brookman's Park, Welham Green, Hatfield, and then Welwyn Garden City. Finally, this is a driver-only operated service, which means you'll need to close the doors yourself once passengers have finished loading and unloading at all stations. To activate this, please press Control Shift plus R. Well, as I've got the manual in front of me and I've had a good read of it, it is something I remember. So we'll do that right first. Control Shift plus R. Right, we are driver only. So doors are open. Okay, let's get set up. So my auxiliary is already set. So if you think of the auxiliaries set button as like a circuit breaker, I know it's a bad word for it, but it's connecting the batteries up basically. So we'll marker lights on, tail lights off, headlights on, destination lights on, and that should be it for lights. Next thing we need to do is actually transfer over from third rail onto AC. Now this caught me out. This is the second time I've started this video because of this way this actually works. So if I just talk you through it, so stick it into neutral first, then open the latch and put the pantograph up, then the set reset button. Don't just press it, press and hold it until you get the line light. I kept just pressing it and it'd give me 20 mile an hour and then wouldn't give me anything else. And every time I was opening the power controller I was pulling amps down here, but I wasn't going anywhere. So I did have to do it. I'll safety switch back over there. Okay, let's have some wipers. We've got a green, so I'm not too worried about the DRA. And as much as I'll try and show you what I'm doing with the buttons, I will use a few keyboard shortcuts, but I'll tell you when I'm doing that. So we'll finish boarding. So I've pressed R to close the door. The switches up here, and so is our interlock light. I don't know if I've got one actually down on the cab itself. So we've got the interlock. We haven't got one down here. So we'll now stick it into forwards. Pull the brake down to step 1, and that's the dual power alarm. That's because we've got third rail and overhead, and you silence that temporarily by pressing J. So what have we got? Finsbury Park in 0.7 miles, not long at all. What we'll probably do is the return. There's a sort of a return version of this, or maybe the first bit and this is the second, that goes from Welwyn Garden City to supposed to go to Moorgate. Sorry about that, still haven't quite kicked this cold. So yeah, this is the actual third time I've driven this. First time being yesterday, second time being 5 minutes ago, and this time being now. But I have had a good read of the manual. As per usual, I've put my frame rate counter up there. I don't know if you can actually, I haven't looked enough to see if you can read that properly in, on YouTube. I'm sure you should be able to, because it should be in 1080p. That just gives you sort of idea. As I said in the last video, this end of the East Coast main line, I tend to get very low frames. So I mean, I'm going to try and do my best to drive this pretty nicely today, just to do it credit. The last video I did was probably one of the worst I've made, barring my first ever one. And it's the one that seems to have got the most attention. And I've overshot already. Oh, compressor noise. I didn't hear that yesterday. So we can hear it really. I know I wouldn't really want to be driving with my window open. So there we go, close the doors over again now. Just wait for my interlock light. Hadn't pressed and held it. Also, as much as I know I should be coming out of put my reverser in neutral when I stop, I don't. It end up forgetting, and then it sort of makes the video a little bit worse, and also makes me forget all the time. So until I'm good enough to remember all the time, I won't really be doing that. I was speaking to a friend of mine actually who used to drive 313s and now quite regularly drives 315s, and he's actually offered to come and have a little go, maybe even do a video with me, just to see how accurate it sort of stands up to being. I'm pretty sure in the waggonz Facebook stuff they put up, they said they had a couple of 313 drivers and 315 drivers that were beta testing it for them or had tested the physics. Which is a really cool idea. I mean, I know there's limitations within the train sim engine itself and the way the system's all designed, and lots of very clever people have got over it through different ways with the lure coding and things like that and scripting, which is great. So I'm hoping it sort of stands up. And even if it doesn't, I am thoroughly enjoying driving it. Even if my frame rates are pants. Oh, way past the stop marker again. So yeah, as you'll be hearing now, I haven't had time, embarrassingly after Armstrong Powerhouse have shared my thing, to put the sound packs back on. I thought getting the video out there was more important. As there hasn't really been much around. I was expecting this to add, I mean, like when the 205 came out, God, there was about 20 videos up within the first couple of hours. But this, I think there was one other bloke on YouTube and my video. So it might not be the Armstrong Powers liked it, it was just a lack of choice. Either way, I'm not complaining. also been having a little read on Facebook about and also I've had a little check on the forums on UK Train Sim as well regarding the sounds, and it does seem to be a bit of a consensus that the sounds aren't perfect. Dare I say it? But I think quite a lot of I couldn't really work out what was going on in UK Train Sim, and if I'm honest, as much as I love it, and there are some really, really bloody clever people on there, it can get a little bit tit for tat for me. But yeah, quite a lot of the comments look like they've been deleted, but then they look like they're from sort of December 2015. So I wasn't quite sure what was sort of going on. Couldn't really work it out. I've also joined quite a few of the Facebook groups recently as well. There's the Rail Sim Users group, which is, I've actually had a good crack on there. Just reading some of the stuff. I've not been a massive participant in some of the conversations, and I've shared a few of my videos on there and stuff, and so the feedback I've had has been relatively positive, to be honest with you. Everybody's been real kind of nice. But what I did enjoy about it was that it's a little bit more sort of, not adult, but it's not as sort of stuffy as some of the other ones I've been on, and I quite like that. Quite liked a bit of humour in it. Some of the humour goes way over my head when they're talking about like people that have got things or have done things. So there's quite a community that's been going for quite a long time, and sometimes it's nice to sort of come in halfway through it and go, ah, what is that then? And have a little check. So yeah, I recommend it on Facebook. I also on there, I think it was on there, no, it might have been one of the Railwayana groups, was Triple Valve Metro Camel, who now calls himself Metro Camel 63, I think it is, or 62. I'd have to look it up. And I sort of noticed they'd post a picture of one of his guard consoles from his underground train, his underground stock, and I was like, I recognise that, it must be him. So there's a few of the YouTube people that I sort of subscribe to out there as well. And another one I joined was the railway photography one. Now I'm no spotter at all. I don't go out looking or taking pictures, but I love it that people do, because it means I can literally sit in the bath with my iPad and look at what's happened throughout the week and what's going on around the country. I do also buy a couple of magazines. There's a couple especially I sort of do buy. Model Rail, Rail Express, and the one that nobody likes, which is Rail. I used to buy Modern Railways a lot, but I don't get to town that often. I have to be in WH Smith to buy it or have a subscription. And as much as I know it saves me money in the long run, I never seem to have the money to actually pay for a subscription first when I want it. So yeah, Rail, Model Rail, and Rail Express. I like Rail Express. It's got a lot. It covers both sort of sides for me. It does a bit of the modelling side, and it does a little bit of well, it does quite a lot of the real life stuff as well. And a lot of the features are more up my street. I'm not really a steam fan. As much as I love seeing steam engines, don't get me wrong. I'm not a massive steam fan. I love the smell and the sight of them, but don't really do it for train sim for me, and they don't really do. I like to see them moving and in real life. but not so much just to play on train sim with, or sorry, watch videos of, really. So I'd love to have a little play with a couple of these scenarios and just stick the 91 in. I know I was complaining about it yesterday, but I'd love to give it a go. What I'm just messing about with there is, because this is like a bit like the 303 and most older gen EMUs. In real life, if you want to go to a lower power notch, you have to come back off the power and then back to a lower power notch. So just having a little check there. How am I doing for time? It reckoned I was meant to get a new Southgate 14:41. Ooh, I'm running a little bit behind. Too much talking. Trying to keep an eye out. Some of these have 3-car marker boards, and others just have the stop sign at the end. Stop board. Oh, relatively close. We'll have a look. Yeah, too far forward, really. I don't know if anybody, when DTG do this route, whether they actually look at the sighting of the mirror boards and everything like that, because that's realistically what you'd be looking at, whether you're in front of the CCTV boards or whether you're at the mirrors. Excellent. 1.8 miles to Oakley Park. I mean, even like the handle underneath the chair, the stop on the door. Love it. I was reading the manual about the alarm we had, the dual power alarm, and that's got to be the reason that way that works is by scenario markers. So you put those and you hear it. So I suppose it's a bit like was it Thompson that did the West Coast Mainline Trent Valley, and he had the announcements. They were activated by scenario markers as well. I will definitely get into the whole scenario creation thing. I've just got to have a few days where I can spend doing it and practicing. I've been watching quite a few videos. And so far I've been able to master quite a lot from watching YouTube videos. So I'm hoping I should be able to master scenario creation. Oh, I went past, way past. I tried. That's the main thing, I tried. I'm loving the rain hitting the roof sound. It's quite weird. I play this on headphones and I can hear that the windscreen wipers are in front of me and that the rain is above me. It's quite strange. Don't know if that's just a little bit of an illusion that my brain and my ears are playing on me, because that's what I'm used to. But yeah, it does sound cool. I haven't driven the southern version of this yet. I'll actually have a check about what routes that goes on. I don't think, as I've said in other videos, I don't have much southern stuff at all. So yeah, it's the North London line. It's the Silverlink one. I'm guessing that had that has the southern cab, I'm guessing. What does it? Do you know? I don't know. I'd think so, but the North London line's something I don't have. I sort of tended to avoid commuter routes. Primarily because I'm rubbish at stopping at stations. So I quite like being able to just blast it. But for doing videos, it's nice to be able to stop. I mean, these are platforms that I've gone past 1,000 times and never ever once stopped at them. I think out of this lot that we're on now, it'll be Finsbury Park, Hornsey, and Ali Pally probably. Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield, of course, but yeah, these ones. New Barnet is not one I've ever done. So yeah, I think the way back on this one is the Welwyn Garden City, Drayton Park. So I'll have a look at that. It's set in 2014. So yeah, it should be all the 91s should all be in East Coast livery, and I do have. I say I have the 91 in East Coast livery, but it's a bit jerky for the passengers there. 3, 2, 1. I have to sort out a couple of the repaints on the coaches before I stick it in anywhere. Do a little job I have at work sometimes, which is check the needle is in the green on the fire extinguisher. Oh, another little bit of resistance bank protected lamp. Oh, does that mean if I isolate the dynamic braking with this lovely doodah here, would that lamp come on? I don't know. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to fiddle with it. I should just be able to isolate and unisolate it, I suppose. Let's push the boat out. No, it's not. Because I'm guessing the dynamic braking on a 313 will be by using a resistance bank. The Hadley Woods a station I would like to go to. Just the fact that it's in between the two tunnels, I think, makes it pretty unique how it is. And you come through there at a fair pace on a 91 or an HST. I've seen quite a lot of spotters use it. Quite a lot of the guys that put videos up on YouTube quite often use it. Tell you what is slightly doing my head in. So it's raining. Looks pretty crisp to be raining. But again, that's Train Simulator. It's lovely weather engine. And I don't moan because I can't do it. Done it again. I only want to go into series. What does the manual say I should pull off in? Notch 2, which is series, yeah. Since it doesn't matter if I go back into shunt now, I'll still accelerate like I was in weak field. If I wanted to keep, say, 40, pull it into 0, take power off and then put it back into shunt. It holds the resistance, the camshaft, the resistance in. Is that how it describes it? Describes it as cutting it in, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. So it's about taking in and out resistance with a camshaft. So yeah, in shunt, all of the resistance is in as you start, unless you go back to it later. And then it slowly cuts out the resistance, i.e. more power is getting to the traction motors. Wasn't particularly paying attention there. Don't overshoot, Al, don't overshoot. Ooh. Brakes are pretty responsive on this. I suppose even real life drivers thrash these anyway. How did we do with the stop marker there? Woo! I'll still get a telling off, I think. I love the interior of this. I love the way it is just so well still modelled. I think I just got a little click of a Spirex valve there. I've decided I want a Spirex valve as my alarm clock. Just that little ticking noise to start with, so it wakes you up a little bit slowly, and then all of a sudden a bloody compressor kicking in. Because I don't know if you've ever been stood on a train platform with a train sitting there stabled or whatever and the compressor kicks in. It's giving me a fright. When I was on my way back from Lowestoft the last time, which is when I did my first video actually, there was the top and tail 37s at Norwich, and I went and had a little look at them, and I was standing next to it. Bloody compressor kicked in, made me jump out my skin. So yeah, one of those beside the bed. Don't think the wife would like it, but I would. Love the way you can turn that on. Sometimes it's just the little things that make it for me. Two things that I want to do a cold scenario to put the foot warmer on and the demister. Just because I think it gives you immersion. And, you know, I'm really glad I enjoy driving this, and I'm so glad that they've done such a good job of it. Because, really, if I'll be honest, before, if anybody had said to me, do you need the 313, do you need the 315, I'd go, yeah. For AI. Do you know what I mean? You'd quite happily have it there for AI. Yeah, it means I can drive my top link Cast 91 down and it looks right outside. But no, I'm thoroughly enjoying driving this. Even the fact we are sort of stop-start, loving it. And I realise there's a lot of work in this. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't critique it, that doesn't mean it shouldn't. A bit of constructive criticism, I think, is always good. But to be fair, I haven't seen anybody actually slate it at all yet. It's very hard to slate anything that Waggonz and AP have done together. Very, very hard. Do the door controls. Let me just try something. No. The 180. That I would happily critique. I love the 180s in real life. I never saw them when they were on the West Coast. Not the West Coast main line, but the Great Western, and then Hull Train's got them, and then Grand Central. I'll love them. I remember watching the really cheesy video, the Adelante. When the first Great Western first brought them out, it was at Spa Films, when the Spa production films, it was all over YouTube. I loved them, even though they were pretty unreliable to start with. Still aren't massively reliable, but are up there. Heaton do a good job with them. But DTG one, the modelling's just wrong. The front end is flat. It makes it look stupid. I don't know, Alstom haven't always made some of the prettiest trains in the world. 458. I think they did a good job with the 180. Even the 175 I quite like. A bit plain, a bit utilitarian. Quite like the look of it for a modern unit. I think it's better looking than the 185s. No. Do you know, I thought I was doing so well there. Yeah, I've missed it. I missed it. Actually missed it. For those of you who watch Matt Pedalston, that is now my Nebworth, and it was Welwyn Green. That's kind of annoyed me. In fact, that's really annoyed me. But I'm going to carry on and just answer to the driver manager when I get back to the depot. Yeah, that's chin me. I was also just thinking, I don't think I've actually managed to come over speed at all on this run. No, that's not particularly difficult with the 313. The Hatfield Curves, where the Hatfield rail crash happened. Just on the line to our left, actually. Take it a bit easy. I'm gonna blame the adverse weather conditions. My adhesion levels are low. I'll ring up the signaller and tell him there's low adhesion at Welwyn Green. So I'm kind of hoping for something like that in Train Sim World. I think it's a big bit of a driver's day that is kind of missed. The communication between a signalman. Just adds another little bit of realism, doesn't it? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I might get a little phone and put in the shed just so I can pretend to do PA announcements. Take it super seriously. God, I might even get a little uniform. Saying that, I bet FCC uniforms will start coming up on eBay soon enough. I think there's a policy that's 4 years, but I mean I've had some bits that are quite current, not uniform as such. I've seen things like lanyards go for silly money and all that kind of thing. I've got quite a few Intercity Swallow liveried bits and pieces. A couple of driver's ties, not that I can even tie a bloody tie, but I've got a couple. I've got a couple of Bounds Green sew-on patches. Tell you what's really annoying me, that if I didn't stop at Welwyn Green in the first place, I might have made it in, if it hadn't slowed down, I might have made it into Welwyn Garden City on time. If the noise changes from the door in that window and that one doesn't open. It's 25 limit coming in, because going into platform 4 at Welwyn Garden City, which will be to the left of this line. The more I'm driving this, the more I'd like to see the Cambridge branch done. I mean, yes, okay, it's my home bit of track as well, but these go as far as Letchworth, if not even a bit further. I think they definitely have been known to go to Royston even. So it'd be good to have the flexibility to be able to do that. I don't know, even semi-recently, I think it was when the 376s came online and they had to take a few out of service. 315s were even going as far as Cambridge at one point. I think it's a diversion route for the East Coast Main Line. You do tend to get everything come through it. I mean, we've had HSTs, 91s being dragged, all sorts. And a run that I'd like to do that's a pretty recent thing is that the 422s, the Wessex, which out of any southern unit, they're definitely my favourite because they're my sort of era, are being stored at the Potters Group at Ely. So to be able to take, even just because I know they don't go up through like Shepperton and Foxton and all that, but even to do that run to Ely. Oh, I've got a TPWS activation there. Well, I never. I'm actually in the platform. Yeah, alright, that'll do. Fair enough. So what speed should have I approached that? Under 10, is it? I think it's under 10 at a red light. But then yesterday I drove into King's Cross doing over 10. I didn't, well, maybe not. I'll have a find out. But none of my lights came on either. Usually the brake demand light comes on. I think that's actually us, so what I am going to do... Lovely jubbly, driver. Job done. That's bloody not. You missed your stop. So, yeah. Picked up passengers at 9 out of 14. Okay. Penalty break applied 3 times. 9 out of 14. Don't think we did 14 stops, did we? Oh well. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to do another one quickly, which will probably be the return of this, and then I'll probably try and whack out a workshop scenario as it's Friday night and I can be a little bit later than I should be. But thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. As you see, I try my best to reply as quickly as possible, so you should get a reply. And thanks again for watching. See you guys soon.